If you own a Steam Deck, you would know that aside from capturing screenshots, there is no way to capture any kind of instant replay video footage using the unmodified SteamOS experience. But why not? The Steam Deck is a PC after all, and there exist many options for doing exactly this on a PC. It makes absolutely no sense to me that the Steam Deck, which to this point has sold over 1 million units, is lacking a feature that their nearly 7-year-old competitor has had since day one. Here's how the Nintendo Switch handles video capture. You hold the capture button down to save a video clip of the last 30 seconds, and then it's saved. From there, you can preview them on the Switch itself, or you can take out the SD card, put it into a computer, dump the footage, and that's it. If the Steam Deck doesn't have functionality akin to this, then Valve really isn't trying hard enough. Whether you're a content creator wanting to capture footage while you're out touching grass, or whatever the reason may be, this feature should exist and it should be easy for everybody to use. SteamOS 3.5 is the next major update for the Steam Deck. It's been in production for months, and despite its release being on the horizon, it still does not have this functionality. And to me, that's unacceptable. So in order to fix this, today, I will be showing you how to get this exact functionality working on your Steam Deck with very minimal effort. I challenge Valve to implement a solution as good as the one that I'm about to show you now. Let's get down to it. What setup did I find, how does it work, and how can you set it up for yourself? Well, since my intention with this video is to help even the least of tech-savvy Steam Deck owners, let me just show you what I've got first, and then we'll set it up after. When I boot up my Steam Deck, I can press Steam plus Start at any time to enable instant replays, and I can press it again to save 30-second video clips of whatever just happened. I also have the option of saving clips up to 5 minutes long just by opening up the quick access menu. Alternatively, I can just start and stop a recording whenever I want to be whatever length I want. These video files save onto the Steam Deck's internal storage by default, or onto an SD card by going into this directory when changing which folder this plugin will save its files to. When it comes time to move the files off of the deck, I just plug the Steam Deck into my computer and drag the video files off. That's it. To me, this is about as simple as it gets. I experimented for days with various other setups that involved taking the SD card out of the deck and putting it into a computer, but that setup was not ideal for a few reasons. The Steam Deck will only automatically mount SD cards that are formatted as ext4, which do not work by default on Windows or Mac, and that creates all sorts of problems. The way I've set this up sidesteps that whole issue, and it's way more stable. It does require that we go into desktop mode to install one little program, but trust me, it's easy. The program that we have to grab is called Decky Loader. This program lets you run a bunch of different plugins within Steam Deck's gaming mode. All you need to do is download and install it. After a quick restart, opening the quick access menu reveals an icon for Decky Loader. From here, you can browse through all of the plugins that Decky Loader has available. If all you're after here today is the plugin for instant replay video capture, grab Decky Recorder and Deck MTP. But how would you also like to instantly search for and change out any of the artwork for any of your Steam games, including non-Steam games, without the hassle of having to do it manually? Well, don't forget to grab SteamGrid DB, which lets you do just that. Seriously, this one makes getting Decky Loader worth it all by itself. I would also recommend checking out Storage Cleaner for handling Steam shader and compat data, though be careful with this one. And then there's Shoddy for letting you copy your screenshots over to the deck's pictures folder, which you'll also be able to manage just like instant replays. And then there's Auto Flatpaks for those of you out there who use desktop mode. So that's it. With the setup all ready to go, let's go over the experience for managing your video files, alongside what kind of effect this plugin has on the frame rate of your games, the battery life of your deck, and also go over any of the glitchy oddities that I haven't mentioned yet. Thankfully, there aren't many. Alright, first up, what's the experience like for managing the video files? Well, unless you're proficient in using desktop mode and want to opt for that as an option, video files are managed entirely through plugging your Steam Deck into your computer and making sure that Deck MTP is turned on. It's not by default. Assuming you don't run into any issues with getting the deck to show up on your computer once you plug it in, which can happen, you pretty much manage the files just as you would a USB stick or any other SD card. Just open up the Steam Deck's folder and hop into either the videos folder or the SD card folder to see your videos. You can copy them off of the deck and even delete them through here. So if that makes you more comfortable with capturing files directly to the deck instead of onto the SD card, then there you go. Okay, now that we have the setup working and we know how to use it, how much does all of this affect the frame rate of the games that you're playing while capturing an instant replay? Well, I'm not going to run a bunch of thorough testing on this setup, but when sitting in the control room in Stray, which is decently intensive due to what's going on behind me, no spoilers, if you know, you know, my frame rate dropped about 10 to 15% when starting a recording. So not bad, but absolutely noteworthy. If you're the kind of person who often plays games that don't struggle to hit 60 FPS, then you might not even notice it at all. But what about power usage? Surely that would be noticeable, right? Does this setup consume the battery a noticeable amount? Well, honestly, in my limited testing, I couldn't tell. The Steam Deck lets you see the wattage power draw of the system at any given time, and starting a recording did not change the power draw of the deck for me at all. So maybe, but whatever it isn't much. Okay, now I'll share with you what the captured footage looks like. This plugin captures at a resolution of 1280 by 800 in docked mode, and forcing the game's resolution to be any higher will not change that, as that doesn't change the resolution of your Steam Deck's display. If you play in docked mode, then captures from Decky Recorder will take on the resolution of the monitor or TV that you're plugged into, and I've tested that up to 4K resolution. It works, but it's not like the Steam Deck is meant to handle that with graphically intense games, but it does work. Back to handheld footage though. 1280 by 800 isn't exactly high quality in 2023, but like, if you were watching a Donkey video with gameplay captured at 720p, which the Steam Deck can do, would you really care? Some of you might, some of you might not, but it's good to have options. One option that we don't have are quality options, but thankfully this plugin captures with some kind of variable bitrate high quality preset that ensures that all of the footage captured with the setup is pretty sharp as is. One gripe I do have is there not being an option to record your microphone as a separate audio track. This was reported on the project's GitHub page by the current dev back in August, so maybe at some point? Aside from those few quirks, this setup would be perfect if it weren't for one more problem, which I reported. Let me briefly lay this down. I prefer the idea of being able to capture footage onto the SD card rather than the deck itself. It's just my preference. If you have the 64GB model of the Steam Deck, this is a crucial option for you to have. Now, you can capture onto an SD card, but you better make sure that the deck sees your SD card within storage settings, because if not, this plugin will kind of fail to tell you that it's not able to record anything. If you capture directly onto the deck, I can't see this ever being an issue, unless you've just unplugged your Steam Deck's SSD, in which case, what? My dream scenario for this setup would be for Valve to implement it themselves, even if they limited recordings to SD cards. I can't see them ever allowing replays to be uploaded to the Steam cloud, so I'm not advocating for that. They would have to fix the issue with SD cards not automatically mounting if they're not ext formatted if they ever wanted this to have Windows support, but this GitHub page shows that just a few lines of code can fix that. So Valve, please. Now, I don't want to be too hard on them. I get that I'm known for being critical of companies like Mojang, but Valve's Steam Deck is an amazing machine set at a price point that absolutely nobody can compete with. They've done a legendary job bringing Linux support to PC games, but that doesn't mean I can't at least make a suggestion and show you how it could work in your hands right now without coding experience. My hope is that some Valve employee sees this video and gets inspired. Don't bother them on my behalf though. So, let me know what you thought of this video, because I get that I'm not known for making non-Minecraft content. I hope you all enjoyed. My name is AntVenom, and thanks for watching.